Honey, buckle up, because this is not your average celebrity scandal. We're diving deep into the messiest, most jaw-dropping twist yet in the Diddy drama, and trust me, it's dragging royalty down with it. Yes, baby, we're talking about none other than Beyonce and Jay Z. The music industry's first couple is reportedly scrambling, panicking, and packing their designer bags to flee the country. And it's not for luxury vacation this time. Oh no, this is full-blown survival mode. So let's break it down, because what's really going on behind those flawless Instagram photos is way darker than anyone could have imagined. Allegedly, the feds aren't just after Diddy anymore. Prosecutors are pulling threads and unraveling the entire industry web. And guess whose names keep popping up? You got it. Beyonce and Jay Z are now in the hot seat. And insiders say they're not just in the mix, they might be next on the chopping block. Things hit a fever pitch when Diddy's trial exploded into full-blown chaos. We're talking shocking testimonies, scandalous leaked tapes, and court documents that expose more dirt than a TMZ vault. But here's the twist. It's not just Diddy the prosecutors want to take down. They're allegedly setting their sights on his closest allies, the big dogs and Jay and Bay. They're allegedly sitting right at the top of that list.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. He ain't doing different.
And sweetie, this is not just tabloid chatter anymore. Word on the street is Beyonce has already canceled tour dates and is seriously considering skipping the country with Jay like yesterday. And no, this ain't a luxury retreat in the south of France. Insiders say it's more like a Russell Simmons vanishing act. Think country with no extradition treaty, no questions asked. For years, folks believed Jay Z was the one tangled in Diddy's infamous freak-off lifestyle, and Beyonce, just the innocent wife standing by her man. But baby, not anymore. The streets are saying she wasn't just a bystander, she was in the thick of it. Allegedly, Bey knew what was going down behind those velvet ropes. She saw the madness, the decadence, and according to some, she played along. And now, with prosecutors circling like sharks, the Carters are allegedly plotting their great escape. Other word is they're looking to vanish before the house of cards collapses. You think it couldn't get messier? Oh, but it does. Because before all this blew up, Jay and Diddy were closer than close, like inner circle, call me Sean level close. Only two people in the world were allowed to call Diddy by his government name, his mama and Jay Z. That's not just friendship. That's brotherhood. They flaunted it too. Diddy was a regular at Jay and Bay's famous Rock Nation brunches. The red carpet, the champagne, the exclusivity, Diddy was always front and center. Then, boom, Cassie drops that nuclear lawsuit and suddenly Jay and Bay act like Diddy never existed. They iced him out so fast it gave the internet whiplash, but the damage was done. You can't host someone at your events for years and then expect people to forget. And you know what really lit the gossip fire? Rapper D spilled some tea so hot it could scorch a Birkin. According to Diab, back in 2020, he got invited to one of those ultra-secret parties at Diddy's LA mansion. And guess who was there with him behind closed doors with just a handful of very important people? Jay Z and Beyonce. Let that sink in. He made it sound like an elite Hollywood club, but the energy, oh baby, it screamed freak off. And the moment that story hit the web, the internet detectives got to work. Suddenly, all those polished, carefully curated Carter family moments started looking suspicious. And then people began digging into Jay's past, and whew, it gets dark. There's been a shadow following Jay-Z for years, one he's worked overtime to keep buried. We're talking about Foxy Brown. Back when she was just 15, the whispers began. Whispers about Jay and Foxy that never quite went away. He's always dodged the topic, spun the narrative, tried to erase it. But here's the kicker. When Jay's former business partner Dame Dash was asked directly about those rumors, he didn't deny it. In fact, he got so uncomfortable, he told the interviewer to ask Jay himself, because he wasn't about to be the one to expose that on camera. I'll add that to Jay's full-blown album with R. Kelly. Yes, that R. Kelly. And a disturbing pattern starts to take shape.
He's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
Jay toured with R. Kelly, performed with him, built a whole project together. And when Dame Dash was pressed about why he distanced himself from Jay, he made it plain. Because Jay never distanced himself from Kelly. That's not a small thing. That's a statement. So when people say Jay might just be another version of Diddy, abusing power, playing puppet master, surrounding himself with enablers, well, now you see why folks are starting to believe it. And if Jay's skeletons weren't enough, the Beyonce angle is what sends this whole thing into overdrive. Because what's been sold to us for decades as a fairy tale love story might actually be a high-stakes business arrangement built on manipulation and control. Oh, and we're just getting started. Jay and Bey's romance was marketed as perfection. Red carpets, hand-holding, Grammy night kisses. It was the stuff of dreams. But behind the velvet curtain, it's sounding more like a scripted performance than a real relationship. And now that their names are allegedly circling around legal documents, baby, everything is being re-examined and it's deeply unsettling. Jay has always had a type, young, rising, impressionable women just starting their journey in the industry. After the Foxy Brown era faded, whispers floated around about Aaliyah. Yes, that Aaliyah. Word is Jay started chasing her after R. Kelly's creepy secret marriage to her was exposed. He'd send her flowers, try to swoop in with that mogul charm. But Aaliyah, she wasn't falling for it. She was reportedly more into Dame Dash, Jay's own business partner at the time. And the tea? Insiders say it felt like some sick ego competition between Jay and R. Kelly over Aaliyah, as if she was a trophy in a twisted power play.
Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah.
Then came that tragic plane crash, and baby, the theories haven't stopped swirling since. Some believe it was no accident at all. Allegations claim Aaliyah was sedated and forced onto that doomed flight. Whether you believe the conspiracy or not, one thing's for sure, it left everyone asking who really had a hand in what happened. And when that door closed, Jay allegedly turned his attention to Beyonce. She was young, bright, crazy, talented, and completely under her family's thumb. According to insiders, Beyonce had almost zero personal life. Her mom, Tina Knowles, was in control of every decision. One high school boyfriend, limited freedom, no real dating experience. Enter Jay Z. He once said in an interview he met her at 16 and waited until she was 18 to pursue her. But insiders say by the time she was legal, she was already locked in. He groomed her mentally, emotionally, and creatively. Jay became the gatekeeper to her career, and once she was in, there was no getting out. He allegedly controlled her music, her image, her schedule, even her personal choices. And if that sounds familiar, it's because it echoes the same pattern Cassie described under Diddy's grip. Now here comes Uncle Ron, Beyonce's former bodyguard, who's been going viral like wildfire. He claims Jay didn't just control Bey's career, he manipulated her mind. According to Uncle Ron, Jay allegedly introduced Beyonce to substances to keep her compliant, docile, dependent, easier to manage, and that set the internet on fire. People began drawing the scariest parallels between Jay's alleged behavior and the horrifying stories that came out in Cassie's lawsuit. Allegedly, Beyonce has tried for years to escape, to break free from Jay, from her handlers, even from her own mother. Sources say she feels like a prisoner in her own empire, like she was molded into a product from childhood and never got to be a real person. She's reportedly been battling depression, feeling trapped, hopeless. One insider even said she's considered taking her own life, not because she wants to, but because she sees no way out. And now, with the legal storm brewing and prosecutors reportedly taking aim, she may be running out of time to make her move. The public is watching like never before. Jay and Bey's every action is being analyzed under a microscope, and the silence is loud. Fans who once defended them with everything are now turning. They're asking, how deep were they really involved with Diddy? Why are there so many disturbing parallels in their past, and most importantly, why are they so quiet? People aren't stupid. The Roc Nation brunch, which used to be the year's biggest celebrity networking event, has just disappeared. No announcement, no postponement, just gone. After Diddy's scandal exploded, Beyonce and Jay used to post about it like it was Christmas morning. Now, not a peep. Their team hasn't addressed anything, and that silence is only adding fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, Beyonce's business moves are telling a story all their own. She's allegedly pulling out of deals, canceling tours, renegotiating contracts, not because of low sales, honey, but because she's trying to cash out, stack every dollar, secure every cent. She's prepping for the exit. There are even whispers that Bey had a divorce plan on the table. Yep. She was allegedly ready to cut Jay loose after she secured the bag and made her clean break, but then, boom, the prosecutors allegedly got wind of both of them. And that divorce plan? It turned into a joint escape mission. Suddenly, they're allegedly scouring maps, looking for countries with no extradition treaties, buying homes abroad, planning aliases. Baby, this isn't just damage control, this is war room strategy. They saw what happened to Diddy. The raids, the lawsuits, the headlines, they don't want that smoke. They're trying to ghost the scene before it hits their front door. And the craziest part, this is happening to Beyonce and Jay Z. For years, Jay was the untouchable businessman. Hov, the hustler turned billionaire mogul. Beyonce, she was divine, a goddess, the most adored woman in music, flawless, powerful, untouchable. But now, the cracks are showing. The carefully polished brand is unraveling. Fans are waking up and seeing the control, the manipulation, the obsession with perfection, and they don't like what they're seeing. When Cassie's lawsuit first dropped, it was a jolt. But as the receipts came in, when those tapes hit, when timelines aligned, people started realizing maybe Diddy wasn't the only one. Maybe other stars knew. Maybe they were there. Maybe they benefited from staying silent. And suddenly, Jay and Beyonce's names started trending, not for a new album, but because people were putting the puzzle together. And what they saw was terrifying. What started as a whisper in fan forums has become a full-blown movement. People aren't just gossiping anymore. They're demanding accountability, not just online cancellations. We're talking real-world consequences, legal action, investigations. And some fans are going all in. There are people online calling for Beyonce and Jay Z's passports to be flagged. Others are tagging federal agencies in threads, asking for charges, subpoenas, and criminal probes. And what's really haunting? It's not the haters doing this, it's the fans. The people who once idolized Bey are now turning the mirror around and saying, she never looked free. Maybe she's been crying for help all along. They're combing through old interviews, dissecting lyrics, finding moments where Beyonce may have been trying to say something but couldn't. They're saying we missed the signs. And Jay, oh, the past is rising up to bite him hard. Old interviews, court documents, awkward quotes from former collaborators, all of it is coming back to the surface like a ghost refusing to stay buried. Dame Dash, the man who used to build empires alongside Jay, now refuses to protect him. He won't lie. He won't cover. He's letting people read between the lines. And if you listen close enough, you'll hear everything. This isn't a scandal anymore. It's an implosion. The empire Jay and Bey built with perfection and silence is crumbling in real time. And when that silence breaks, baby, it doesn't whisper, it screams. And here's what's terrifying. This isn't just about two celebrities. It's about an entire culture built on power, image, and secrecy, an industry that rewards silence and punishes truth. And now truth is clawing its way to the surface. So where does that leave Beyonce and Jay Z? They're allegedly planning their escape, yes, but will they succeed? Will their legacy hold? Or will the weight of all the secrets finally crush the golden throne they've spent decades building? The walls are closing in. The fans are waking up. The prosecutors are coming. And baby, whether they like it or not, the truth always finds a way. Stay tuned.